So that's when you started your credit repair business. What, like 2009, 10?
2009, 2010 is when 2010 is when we launched.
Got
But
it.
09. So I knew a guy that did credit repair. He would give me $50 for a referral.
Yeah.
So I was at a family party that I guess I had mentioned it to a family member that this person did credit repair. And I was broke. I remember crying to my mom because I didn't have money for gas.
Yeah.
Literally, that was maybe the lowest point of my life. Wow. Me crying to my mom. She said, "Here, mijo, here's $40."
Wow.
And I think this person charged like $500. She said, "Oh, I'm ready. I have the money already." I said, "I do credit repair," and I had no idea how to do credit repair.
I love it.
So she gave me the $500, and I remember I went to Barnes and Nobles and I bought a book on how to do credit repair.
Really?
And I was very careful about turning each page because my intention was I need my $20 back.
Yes.
So I went and I took notes, made copies, and within 2 days, I returned the book, got my money back. Luckily, this person worked at Kaiser, and oh my gosh, she referred everyone.
Really?
I mean, within like 2 months, we probably had like 50 referrals.
No way.
And I'm like, oh shit, I went from being broke to like having $5,000 in the bank. Wow, this feels great. And that's how the whole credit repair thing started. So it was by accident.
Tony Robbins says your biggest resource is your resourcefulness. And that's one of the most overused quotes that I use. There's a couple quotes that I use over and over, but it's because I need to drive the point, and it applies to what we're talking about. You didn't have the resource at that moment on how to do credit repair. You had no
idea what even credit repair was.
But you did have resourcefulness.
Yes.
You say, shit, I could do this. You know, it reminds me of my buddy Omar. Shout out to my buddy Omar. He does my jcrangel.com website and a couple of websites, and my Bulletproof Mindset course. He did it for me.
Nice.
So Omar told me the similar story. He says, somebody told me, hey, Omar, do you do websites? And he thought to himself, no, but my mouth said, yes. Cool, how much? And he said, I had no idea how much to charge, JC, so I just said a number. I forgot the number he said. Maybe $1,500, I don't know at the time. He gives out a number, the guy says, yeah, how do you do it? He said, well, I'll take half to start and then half when I deliver. Cool. He said, how much time do you need? He says, give me 2 weeks to deliver that website. Wow. He says, bro, I didn't have Wi-Fi in my house. He says, I went to the McDonald's over there in downtown LA because they had Wi-Fi. And I figured I'm going to take 1 week with their Wi-Fi to learn how to do a website online. YouTube
and another week to do
shit.
it.
And another week to do it.
And
he says, and I delivered in 2 weeks.
Badass.
Bro, that's the kind of shit right that I'm talking about. Now he has a very successful business, high clientele. He does big time websites, virtual interactive training systems for people. And so, but it started with resourcefulness, with that fucking grit.
That's badass. You see, Les Brown says, just say you're going to do it. The how-to is none of your business.
That's right.
The how-to is already in you.
That's right.
See, that's badass right there.
Yes.
That just goes to show you that if you have what it takes, which is just the grit, the grind, you can achieve anything in life.
Yes.
I mean, it's amazing. There's no reason anybody should be broke.
No.
Literally, no reason why you can't take your kids to Disneyland.
Right.
Or you can't buy them deck them out in new clothes when there's a new school year. There's absolutely no reason when there's, even right now in this day and age, there's so many ways. You know that that I just read this the other day and it blew my mind. This little kid, he must be 8 or 9, that my kids watch him on YouTube. 28 million a year. Ryan?
Yes.
Doing videos, 28 million. I'm like, wow.
That's nuts, bro.
That is insane. And that's, hey, good for them.
Shout out to him, man. And sometimes it's, some of these kids, look at the Paul brothers. I just did a podcast episode a couple weeks ago.
I love what they're doing.
Yeah, they're smart.
I love what they're doing. I think it's fucking genius.
It's a niche, right? Because, shit burns out for a while. Then they found a boxing niche by accident. These dudes found that niche by accident. They got called out by a UK YouTuber. They said, fine, we'll fight you. Then they turned out they sold a bunch of, pay-per-views. They said, hey, we got something here. And these boys are athletes. They're young guys. They used to both wrestle. They're great athletes. But they also have discipline because they train, especially Jake Paul. He trains. Look, I'll be honest. I wasn't giving Jake Paul any credit till after the Ben Askren fight. I was thinking, man, but no, that kid is putting in hard-ass work. Not only in the boxing gym, but also with that new niche. He's got a nice niche. They're making millions, man. But the thing is that most people, they don't even have the mindset to start looking. Hey, let me just look. You got to ask the questions. Hey, man, instead of saying, "Oh, I can afford it," why don't you start asking yourself, "How can I afford it?"
Yeah.
Right? Because when you say I can't afford it, something in your subconscious mind stops. Boom, I can't afford it. Boom, okay. But instead, how can I afford it? Your mind, when you're not even thinking about it, your mind is thinking about it. Your mind is working. Then all of a sudden, you might be asleep and wake up and you've got a damn idea because your subconscious mind never stops working and it's infinitely more powerful than your conscious mind.
Yeah.
But see, people don't ask the right questions. People make the wrong statements instead of asking the right questions.
Yes.
They go, "Oh, no, I can't afford it. Oh, that's too expensive." Bullshit, that's too expensive. You just can't afford it. Just because you can't afford it doesn't mean it's too expensive.
Yeah, and if you can't afford it right now, it's okay.
Yeah.
Give yourself a goal.
Right. But instead, how can I afford it? Let me learn from people like Rolando. Let me learn from people like Jay, like JC, like these other people, like these other podcasts. And so, but they don't, like I love that you said that story because you had the resourcefulness. So you took the money, you went to Barnes & Noble, you bought a book, you returned it, right? And I can appreciate that because you needed the money, you did what you had to do, you worked with the policy.
I needed to buy diapers.
Yes.
You know, my kid, he couldn't take, unfortunately she couldn't breastfeed. And unfortunately, my son, he couldn't take the normal formula. So normal formula costs, I don't know how much it costs, but it was 3 times as much, and we had to get it delivered. So it wasn't like, if you ran out, I could go buy it. No. So it was very expensive, and it wasn't something that WIC covered then. It didn't.
Got it.
So it's like, I need to hustle.
You got to make it happen.
Got to make it happen.
So you got those clients, and then boom, your business was off and running. How soon till you getting an office and an employee?
Within 8 months.
Nice.
Within I said, wow, it's this credit repair, it's unlimited number of clients.
Yes.
And then a year later, we had some money saved up. I found that they had in Florida, they had a credit repair boot camp.
That's right.
And it was about 3,000.
I've been to it, yeah.
Yeah, that's where I met Tapatio.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. He was doing credit repairs.
That's right.
And I met him in San Diego. They had one here in San Diego, and I went to that one as well. So I went to that boot camp, and I learned a lot about credit repair. And I just came back with that knowledge, and I just went.
See, and that's the thing, man. You've invested plenty of money and time into yourself.
Yes.
And now you're reaping the rewards. And a lot of entrepreneurs, they're not entrepreneurs, they're wantrepreneurs. They want to be entrepreneurs, but they're not entrepreneurs because they're not willing to invest the time, the energy, the effort. They're not willing to invest that emotional investment of the rejection of the downfalls. That shit is coming, man.
Yes.
If you're not working on your mindset either, that's why one of my most trained topics is the mindset, because I could train you on sales, I could train you on leadership, I could train you on how to be a badass closer. But if your mindset is weak, I'm wasting my time. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You mentioned about one bad apple. One of my mentors said to me, JC, shout out to Jay Nolan. He says, JC, I spend more time getting them out than you do getting them in. Meaning I spend more time getting the bad apples out than you do getting the good apples in. Because you don't want one to rot.
Yes.